to Ask a Reporter. Happy Friday.
Yay, Friday.
Yay, my favourite. Everyone's favourite. So today we have Emma in the hot seat. And this is your very first Ask a Reporter.
I think this is my first official. I might have done one like 2 years ago, but this is my first like proper official Ask a Reporter.
It's her official Ask a Reporter.
I'm so nervous.
Oh, well, look, these guys are very nice to us. You've sent in so many lovely questions, some quite difficult.
Lots quite difficult.
Yeah, because, of course, today we are talking about what, Emma?
The falling Aussie dollar.
The falling Aussie dollar.
I don't work as well as I thought it would.
It didn't actually. I'm trying to make it rain. Oh, look at that.
Oh, there it goes.
Wow.
That's so much better.
Oh, so much money we have here at BTN. I mean, we're just like full of cash. Look at this. You know what? I have to say it looks quite real.
Yeah, but it's the
From
old
afar.
ones. So I was like,
Of course.
wow.
Silly. We needed new ones.
Yeah.
And so why are we talking about the falling Aussie?
Falling Aussie
It really
dollar.
doesn't work very well. The falling Aussie dollar.
We are talking about the falling Aussie dollar because obviously if you guys are watching, you probably watched the story this week. But basically the news is that our Australian dollar isn't worth quite as much as it used to be in US dollars. So it's quite a complicated subject. And I know you guys have a lot of questions and they're great questions. I don't know if we'll have all the ansers, but we're going to give it a red hot go.
Yes. Well, I say we'll do our best. You'll do your
Yes.
best. I'm just going to sit here.
You'll pick the
my
hardest
tablet,
ones.
picking all the questions. Yeah. Well, let's jump into things because you guys have sent heaps of questions. All right. So Emma, to kick things off, this is slightly unrelated. What do you think the new $100 will look like? That's from Connor at St. Bridget's Catholic Primary School. Thanks for tuning in.
I love this question because I love the new money. It makes me so excited when I get like a brand new 5 or 10. When I get my first brand new 50, oh my gosh, I'm going to be crazy.
You're going to be so happy.
Yeah.
Do you feel like I never really see hundreds? Is that just me? I don't really use hundreds. Am I just poor? I'm not sure.
I think I don't see very many hundreds because when I get them for a present, I keep them forever. Like, I never want to spend 100. So if I get one from like my grandma for my birthday or something, I'm like, this is never going anywhere.
There you go. Emma's probably got a massive stack of hundreds
they're all
at
under
home.
my mattress at home.
Perfect place to keep them. And it is true. This is the perfect story for you, Emma, because it's kind of quite well known around the office that Emma has a bit of an obsession with money, which sounds really weird and bad.
It's a really
She's
weird
not
thing.
super greedy, but she just really likes coins.
I love coins. I love the feeling of getting like, you go to the shops and they give you change and you get like a brand new shiny coin or like a special one. Like I've got a couple that have colours on them, you know, like the purple ones or the Mem Fox green ones. Which I never spend, so no one's ever going to get them ever again because I'll keep them.
all. Do you have a real coin collection then? Are you actually keeping them in that story?
No, you know what? I get them and I keep them at home in my Spider-Man money tin. And that is a true story.
I love it. And then you just get them out and like put them on the table and
Just go, so shiny. Mwah.
I love it. All right, well, let's go into another question. Okay, so this is from Olivia, also from St. Bridget's Primary School. Why is Australia more expensive than America? How can we change it? So let's talk about the actual dollar there. I don't know if that's exactly what you mean, Olivia, but let's go with that. So why is, what's happening with the dollars? Like, why do we care about America?
Yeah, so all money all over the world is basically always compared to the US dollar. It's just kind of the way it works with like the stock exchange and, you know, when people buy and trade shares and invest. So everything is kind of like, when you look at the value of money, it'll be $1 US gets you this much Australian, gets you this much of a pound, that sort of thing from the UK. So at the moment, ours is if you have $1 of Australian, you'll have 70 US cents. So that basically means that, you know, if you're going on a holiday or something like that and say you want to transfer over some money so you go to the US so you can spend it, when you swap your money over, you're technically getting less money, you know, less notes or less dollars, whatever. And it's really complicated and it's kind of all based on investing. So people, you might see them on TV, you know, I don't know how it is anymore, but it used to be those people that were like, you know, yelling like invest in like the stock market.
The stock market.
I think it's mostly just like people on computers now.
I think it is actually.
Although I would really like to see the stock
there are
market
still people
thing.
yelling. I feel like there might be. We'll see
I
if we
hope
can
so.
find
Otherwise
that.
it would be really disappointing. But
And they ring the bell and
they do, and they ring the bell. They must
the New
still
York
do that.
Stock Exchange.
I think they still do that.
I think so because it's very it's tradition.
But a lot of
the bell,
people-
by the way, opens the stock
exchange.
exchange for the day.
And closes it, I guess.
And
I don't know.
closes
Do they
it.
ring a bell to close it?
I
Probably.
think so. Yeah.
Anyway, that's kind of, they're the people that really influence how much a currency is worth. So at the moment, there are some things that have happened in different countries, and basically investors have said, you know what, it's a better idea to invest in America than in Australia right now. There are things going on in America where they're going to get more value for their money. So that means that the Australian dollar is in less demand for investors. You know, they want to invest less in our money, so that's why our currency drops in value. It's super complicated, and like, I'm sure if you asked adults, you know, they would have no idea how it works.
That is absolutely true.
So if you guys understood what I just said, because I don't really understand what I just said, then you're doing a lot better than a lot of adults.
You love the honesty here. We'll tell you straight. I think you sort of answered probably a couple of people's questions there, but I was just going to call out, is it, oh no, how do I say this name?
Jamel,
maybe
Jamel.
Jamel from RHPS. Sorry if we got your name wrong. Why is the Australian dollar falling? I think that hopefully answered that one. So next up, Austin from Nowra East Public School would like to know, what does this mean for us?
So it means for us a couple of different things. In the story you saw that we talked to somebody who makes stuff. So they're a manufacturer and they send things overseas, and it's great for them because it means that people who are over in America can spend 70 cents and get $1 worth of stuff from us, which means they're getting more value for money, you know, like it's a good discount. But for people like us going on holidays, it's not as good because it means that when we transfer over $1 Australian, we're only getting 70 cents back. So we're getting less money, basically. So if you're going on a holiday to America soon, sorry.
It's true. That's always something, like if you go on a holiday, you kind of do check, especially to somewhere like America or the UK, you always check the exchange rate because sometimes it can be really expensive when you get over there, and other times it can be really cheap. So I've had times where I've had, for instance, friends who have gone over to the UK, and I remember the UK pound dropped drastically for like a few days, and she was just shopping and buying all this stuff that was normally really expensive. So it's like, you know, this really has a real actual impact on people's lives when it comes to the changing value of dollars and pounds and currency all around the world.
There's a thing that happened a while ago. You might have heard of the word parity. Parity means when it's exactly the same. So $1 Australian equals $1 US dollar. And when that happens, people in Australia go crazy because it means you can go online shopping. You know, your parents might have done it, or people that you know have gone online and bought stuff from America, like whether it's, you know, shoes or clothes or electronics from overseas, because when it's like that, like we said before, you're getting really good value for money. So I reckon a couple of years ago it happened, and people shopped like mad and transferred over their money. Like if you were going on a holiday, you were so lucky.
How funny is that? A parity. I've never heard that. Yeah. Do you think, has it happened very often? Do you know? I don't know if this is anyone's question. Oh, look, it's from little Amelia from the behind the news school.
Oh, thanks, little Amelia, for texting in.
Great question. She asked so
Love her hair.
Thanks. I mean, so does that happen very often, do you think, with the US dollar and the Australian dollar? I don't feel like it does.
No,
right?
It doesn't happen very often at all. I can only remember it happening a couple of times in like the last 10 years or so, but I don't know the exact number.
All right, so that's all right. We have another question. I don't know if you know this one, Emma, but this is from Mac from Vaucluse Public School. In China, how much is our money worth? I knew I was going to. That was a tough one, but I'm interested to find out. So we'll see what we can find out there. So we know that is it the most valuable money in the world, or what's the technical term?
So
the answer is Kuwait, right?
I think so. Compared to the US dollars, because, oh man, it's really hard
It's
to
tough.
explain, because a lot of countries, like we did a story on BTN quite a while ago about Venezuela, a country in South America. You guys might have seen that story, you might not have.
If you missed it, you can check it out on the BTN website as well.
And like we said before, some things are happening in their country which aren't so great for their economy, which means that their money is really, really low compared to the US dollar. I think
It's
like
basically
worthless, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's right.
So this story, so
gonna fix my
it was
hair.
about...
Sorry, just a pause. I'm just going to fix my hair. Keep talking though, I'm still listening.
I love it. Meanwhile, I'm just like pushing my hair out of the way too because it's really annoying. So yeah, this story was about about Venezuela's currency basically dropping to almost being worthless, and it's really unfortunate because money is very important, you know. And so what these people have started doing is they're actually trading objects, which is
Crazy.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, for instance, a roll of toilet paper became more valuable than the actual currency. Like,
Which is wild. Like, it's so
absolutely
hard
wild.
to understand here, especially when it's just like you go to the shops and this is how much something costs. But then when something terrible happens, then suddenly you lose all perspective.
Exactly. It's crazy. But, you know, luckily here in Australia, that's likely to never ever happen. But yeah, very unfortunate for people in Venezuela, so that's a bit of a crisis and they're trying to work that out. Authorities and other countries are trying to work out what to do there, and economists. So let's see what else we have. I have a question from, this one is also from St. Bridget's, and this is from Taj. When do you think the value is going to go higher, Emma?
That's a good question, and I honestly have no idea, because it's kind of like sometimes it's a thing of predicting the future. Like a lot of people don't know it's based on, you know, investors and announcements from different companies and announcements from governments. So there's a lot of people that I'm assuming this is their like full-time job, making up computer algorithms and working out how everything works. But for someone,
And
like
they're
me,
economists, aren't they?
Economists, exactly.
Yeah,
economists.
economists.
I would have no idea, and a lot of people don't have any idea. That's why you might hear on the radio or people on the news talking about finance, and you're always in the finance bit where they're talking about how shares are trading and the money and the dollar, and you just think, oh my gosh, I can't understand all these numbers. But there are people who that's like their full-time job and their passion, and they are the people that hopefully would know and then tell the rest of us.
Or keep it really quiet to themselves and make lots of this. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? There are full jobs, you know, people doing this. All right, so I have an answer to the question, which was from, let me find out, from Mac. So Mac, $1 Australian dollar equals 4.9 Chinese yuan? That is right, isn't it? YUAN, one. I've never actually been to China, so I would like to go. I'm interested, but there you go. So I don't know. See, the thing is, you look at that and you go, okay, cool. So that sounds like it's significantly more, and you're going to get lots more money. But then you have to think about it on another level, which complicates it much further.
Yeah.
Is, well, what does that money buy in that country? So, you know, you might go somewhere and be like, wow, I have 2,000 something currency for my $1 Australian dollar. But then when you go there, it's like, well, that 2,000 might just buy you a can of Coke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the can of nondescript, non-brand
Soft drink.
soft drink
Fizzy
of some
drink.
sort that you might want to drink. So we also have $1 Australian dollar is equal to 45 Venezuelan bolivar. So that was what we were talking about before in that South American country of Venezuela. So again, sounds like something, right? But like we said, that is very small because it's not actually getting you much. And so it's a really complex story, that one about Venezuela. But if you do want to know more, it's really fascinating. So check out that story, which Ruby did, I think. All right, so let me see. We have a question from Rena from RHPS. I don't know, this is a tough one. Who started the money trading industry? So if we're talking more like trade, like, is that kind of the stock
Kind of like the stock market, which is really hard. I wouldn't even know, because it's been going for like centuries. Because, you know, basically, without starting a whole new VTN story, the stock market is kind of like, if you see a company on the stock market, if you buy one stock of a company, from a company, you own part of that company. That's how stocks work. So say you know, Amelia started her own hair care business. And
or what I have actually done, because I did this story.
Oh, did you
remember?
really? Oh,
and
yeah.
I did my baking business.
Amelia started a baking business, and then I thought, you know what, I think this is going places. And then I bought, you know, 10 shares that were all for $1, and I gave Amelia $10.
Thank you.
I own $10 worth of her business. So
I don't have a pocket in there.
and then there are pockets
under my arm.
outside.
Yeah.
But maybe
there we
the
go.
button, you don't want to mess it up. So that's kind of how the stock market works. And then sometimes people decide, you know, if then Amelia's cupcakes aren't doing so well, you know, she used some dodgy flour and people aren't buying it from her anymore.
Then I might my stock will be worth less.
Yeah, and then I'll say,
Emma
actually,
will-
I want my money back from Amelia.
So she'll sell it, her stock, to somebody else. And then you
And then
might
I get the money back.
only $5 though, because
Yeah,
they went
because-
down.
Because no one's
So
buying your
that's-
dodgy flour.
There you go. Well, you know what? My baking is delicious.
It is. It really is.
Thank you. But yeah, look, honestly, Emma, I did know the answer to this. I've sort of forgotten because I remember this was a question that I did actually get when I did this story about the stock market. And you're right, it started a really, really long time ago. And if I remember correctly, it was the Italians. I hope I'm right. It was someone in Europe. Oh, hello. I've got a little thing here. Okay. Okay. However, it's generally accepted that Antwerp had the world's first stock market system.
There you go.
Oh, yes, I think it was the Dutch, really, then, actually, as well, after Antwerp, wasn't it? I remember there was a Dutch stock market that was really big. Yeah, the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. So that was, later in the 1600s. So there you go. It's been something that's been going for a very long time.
400 years. That's a really long time.
Yeah, it's a really long time. And I'm sure, currency was around much earlier than that as well. All right, so let's see. Jaden and Marlu from Aldinga Beach would like to say, first of all, I'm going to read the second part of your question because it's my favourite. In capitals, BTN is great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And there's more only because you have great reporters.
Oh, that's really nice.
Thank you so
Thanks very much.
Jaden and Marlu. And then your question is, why does America have cheaper things than us? So slightly related to what we were talking about before with, you might go over with, that currency and then you have to work out what you can actually buy there.
That's something I always have trouble with on holidays because you're using another country's money and the exchange rate is different. You go into a shop and you go, oh my gosh, that top is only $20. That's amazing. And you buy it and then you kind of do the maths and you go, oh, actually, that is way more expensive in Australia and I would never have bought something like that
Yes.
if I was at home.
I've done that before too.
And if you guys have ever been on holidays overseas or gone to somewhere like Bali or Thailand maybe with your families, you probably have done the same thing, where you pay however much bar it is to hire like a hotel, for example, and you're paying, like 100,000 or something, and you think, wow, that's so much money. But then when you do the conversion back to Australia, it's actually pretty cheap.
Yeah, there you go. So there's another reason as well why things are more expensive. Sorry, are cheaper over there, right? Is it also that certain companies make things and then import them to America more cheaply?
And
Or
sometimes
I should say
things are
export
made
them to
there.
America more cheaply. Sometimes things are made there. There are certain popular products, in particular technological products that are definitely made over there and are an American brand, so we pay a lot more for those products here. So
And there
it
are
kind of
things-
comes down to things like that, right?
Yeah, and you've probably heard of GST before. So that's like the tax that the state and federal governments put on almost everything that we buy that then goes towards, things that the government take care of, like hospitals and schools and that sort of thing. But in America, you might not know this, but when the prices you get on stuff that you buy doesn't actually have GST added. So that's why a lot of people get caught out, because you go to buy like a camera or something and you see it's this price, and you go to the counter and it's an extra 10% or however much it is.
So annoying.
But then you realise, oh no, now I need more money.
Yeah, so you're like going to, even in, like a shop, just, if you're going to buy a packet of chips or an apple or something, if you're going for the healthier option, which we of course
Apples, always.
You know, it's really annoying because you do go up to the counter and then it increases in price. So even though, you know, some people might not be a fan of the GST, it's definitely easier to at least have it always on there and you don't have to think that much about it. So the green monster.
The hungy.
Because you really want it.
The green monster.
You're greedy.
It hides under my bed.
Yeah. So hopefully I said it to other countries' currencies.
Yeah, so things, like we said before, things change all the time. And so, while in the story I said that it was 1 to 70 cents, every day you wake up it's going to be a little bit different because people are constantly buying and trading and all the investors are making changes. So it'll definitely change. Whether it will start going up to, you know, like it was in 2010 when there was parity, I have no idea. But keep an eye on it if you want to. Now that you understand, you can watch the finance part of the news every night and go sit there and go, yes, I know what that means, yes.
I don't think anyone's
No,
gonna
I wouldn't do that.
Maybe there's
You could
some,
if you wanted to.
budding economists watching Ask a Reporter right
Like, if
now.
you do it, please call us and let us know.
Yeah, you can explain it to us. You can come and Ask a Reporter and let us know. So a couple more questions. I have Eve from our ladies' school, Sunshine. What a beautiful name.
That's a lovely name for a school.
Yeah. Who designs money?
Ooh, that's
Do you
a good
know?
question.
Because I have no idea.
I did actually ages ago. I did a story about the mint.
Of course you did.
So
see what I mean about the coin thing?
that's how it
the money
started.
thing? Yeah.
I did a story about the mint where I went to. So the mint is in Canberra. There's actually one in Perth too, but the main one for Australia is in Canberra. And they make coins, only coins. They don't do notes. Notes are made by the Reserve Bank of Australia. So totally different. But I met some coin designers and their job is so cool. Like they have, because they design not just the ones that we use every day, but they also design like the special commemorative ones and the ones that people buy just for collection. So, you know, like that really cool, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a really cool the AC/DC one. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It was like 50 cents, but they electrocuted them. So
that was cool.
yeah, so there's like a whole team that just do that.
Yeah.
Which I think is really awesome.
I like the ones that you see sometimes with the like a hole in the middle.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the donut coins.
The
I don't know
$holy
if that's the technique. Is that what they're called?
That's what they used to be called. Like
The
before
holy
we had
dollar.
like British pounds, there was a holy dollar, and I think they put a hole in it so that it was worthless in other places. So it could only be used in Australia because people used to like steal Australian money and take it back to their country.
How crazy is that?
Fun facts.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's go to sorry, I lost it. Jessica from Edlington Public School. I don't know if I got that right. Maybe Eglinton. Probably Eglinton. Eglinton Prime Public School. Oh man, keep getting this wrong. Jessica. Anyway,
Thanks, Jessica.
what is the name of Ty's factory? Was it Ty that was in your
It was Ty in the story.
What is the name of Ty's factory? And by the way, just letting you know that I watch your show every week. I love you guys.
Aw,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Jessica.
We love that. Thank you very much for watching.
So-
Ty's factory.
Ty's factory. I don't know what the name of the actual factory was. He manufactured this really like specific thing that was like, if you ever see at your house, you might have an air conditioner, you know, like if it's outside, it's on the floor or, you know, so that the fan is going outside and it's nice and cool inside. He makes this like plastic thing that the air conditioner goes on to stop the air conditioner resting on the ground, which is like
So
crazy
weird.
specific.
It really
but
is.
massive factory for it. So it's kind of like one of those things that you don't ever like go to the shops and buy yourself, but once you start noticing, you're like, oh my gosh, that thing is everywhere.
And then you're just going to be like, Ty.
Exactly.
He makes all of the thingies in Australia. Oh, all right, well, we better wrap this up, but I just want to quickly mention a message from LaDonna from Alamanda K9 College. You guys are amazing, and I love BTN. My class and I watch you every Wednesday.
Oh, thanks for watching.
Thank you so much. So, as a final question, because it is your first official Ask a Reporter, Emma, we're going to finish with something extremely serious and important.
Oh, gosh, okay.
So be ready.
Let me be prepared.
Probably the hardest question you've been asked, if you ask me.
Okay.
Sean from Trinity College. Do you have music playlists, and what is your favourite song? See, I told you that was hard.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's
That's a really tough
tough
question.
one.
You know what?
I can't even answer that.
I have a lot of different playlists because I
Me
think
too.
you've got a different mood. Then you want a different playlist. Like, I have a playlist that if I've had like a really busy day at work and I just want to relax, my playlist is just songs from Disney movies. And that is so true.
I think that is the best fact you have revealed about yourself. And
Because sometimes
I
you
did
just
not know
want-
that, and I will not be letting that go.
Because
really
sometimes you just want to like, I don't want people talking at me on the radio. You just think like, oh yeah, I remember that movie and that made me really happy. So I'm going to listen to that song. And then
There you go, guys.
There you go.
Disney movie playlists.
Mhm.
That is Emma's combined favourite
that's
song.
it. That's all I have.
That's all she listens to. Well, on that note, let's just make it rain one more time. Yay!
Yay!
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next Friday for another Ask a Reporter. Have an awesome weekend.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.